Okay, so I want to call the meeting to order. And the first item is roll call. Ms. Harding.
Mr. Burdell Williams.
Present.
Mr. Cohen.
Present.
Mr. Epps.
Present.
Mr. Fishbein. Ms. Haywood.
Present.
Ms. Henry.
Present.
Ms. Lohman.
Here.
Ms. Mulhern.
Here.
Mr. Schultz.
Present.
Mr. Fishbein.
He hasn't joined yet. He may be a few minutes late.
Okay. All right, that concludes the roll call. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harding.
You're welcome.
Mr. Cohen is doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. This is, of course, a special meeting, so it will be a short meeting. We're going to move right to public comments on agenda items only. And so for members of the public, you can either, if you're in the call via Zoom, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, you can send an email to the CSD board meeting comments@cheltenham.org email. And I'm not seeing any hands raised for the attendees. All right, so for the president's report, the first item is the approval of the collective bargaining agreement. And I have a motion to approve.
So moved. Dan Schultz.
Second, Charles Burdell Williams.
Thank you. Before we go to a final voice vote, I want to open it up to the board members and to Dr. Scriven for comments.
I'll jump in first and thank you to our board of directors, Madam Chair and Vice Chair Schultz. This was my first CEA negotiation experience. I definitely want to thank CEA leadership for their assistance with facilitating and coming to a resolution and ratifying the contract, which we will be following for the next 2 years. I think that it affords me as a new superintendent to really focus on the work of making sure that we are really have a laser focus on student outcomes. And I'm in agreement definitely with a 2-year contract because we don't know what the future is going to hold in the climate that we're currently in. So it does afford us to be pretty nimble, and it gives me an opportunity to get some sea legs under the direction as we're going through our strategic plan that we are going to chart as a district. So to the committee of board members that served and really helped to drive this process, thank you so much. I'm excited. I think that we have really, not I think, it's been evidence to date. And Adrian, you please jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, and excuse me for being informal, Mrs. Tolbert Jackson, but I think we are 100% staffed as it relates to our teaching positions. And some of the adjustments that are reflected in this contract in terms of being able to remove the first 3 steps of the salary made us competitive with surrounding districts where that would not and has not generally been the case. And then there's other highlights, as I know that the contract was pushed out for everyone to review. So I'm not going to ramble. This is supposed to be a quick meeting, but I'm excited. We had our induction this morning where we had approximately 40 of our teachers who are onboarding. The energy that they're bringing to the district, it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to that permeating and transferring to our students. So, Madam Chair, thank you just for the opportunity, and for the board, thank you for allowing me to go first. It's greatly appreciated, and I'm looking forward to kicking off this 2022-2023 school year. So thank you.
Dan, excuse me, Mr. Schultz, your hand is raised.
Thank you. Dr. Scrivens did it all very well. I also want to thank CEA leadership and union members as well for, I think this contract is fair and effective, and it meets mutual goals, which is, as Dr. Scrivens said, very student-centric, while also working within the constraints of our tax base. I think that any community members watching this is an affordable package over the next couple years, while also allowing us to be competitive and hire staff members that we need to be able to hire, and also retaining a lot of the forward progress that I think both parties have mutually been pushing forward in terms of pedagogical changes and the like over the past several contracts. So thank you to CEA, and also thank you to administration. This contract was negotiated during a period of transition, both under for you, Dr. Scriven, as new superintendent, but also our business office has been, we've had an interim business manager throughout this negotiation. So I really appreciate the massive amount of effort among administration in supporting this negotiation. So thank you very much. And thank you to my peers who served on this committee.
Dan, I thank you, Dan, for recognizing administration. I would have to hear a little backlash if I did not concur, because our administrative team, alongside with our board on our side of the shop, were pivotal in getting this done. So thank you so much. And I'm not going to call anyone by name, but those cabinet folks who helped drive this, really appreciate it. And even to Chuck, who's no longer with us, I'd like to extend a thank you to him and Lou. And Josh Swigert, our new business manager, is on here. And I'm really excited about the upgrades that he's going to bring with how we operate. So there's some good days in front of us. So thank you, Dan. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Burdell Williams.
Yep, just very quickly, not to repeat anything that's already been said by Dr. Scriven or Dan, but I too am grateful for the collaboration between CEA and the board negotiating committee. I can say that this was my first experience helping out on the committee, but I'll share that some members of the committee are relatively data driven. And I know that sometimes required a lot of the of administration, and again requires some conversation. And I'm grateful that we were able to collaborate in that way and really make a data informed decision on multiple levels, not just fiscally, but in many of the ways that Mr. Schultz shared regarding the pedagogical changes that we wanted to see in other areas. I think it's very important. It shows that we are very much so in tune on both sides with what we want to see out of our district. And I'm grateful for the experience, and also happy that we will find a happy medium that I believe is not just the best for taxpayers, but also most specifically for our students first and foremost. So I'm grateful for that as well, and looking forward to what the future holds. That's all. Thank you.
Ms. Haywood.
Thank you, Ms. Henry. I am not going to repeat anything that's just been said. It's been very eloquently shared. I'm just going to +1 to everything that everybody said. The only thing that I would add is to extend a thank you to Jeff Sultanic, who's been working with us over many years during these CEA negotiations and other negotiations. And so wanted to extend a thank you to him just for the work that he's done in our school district as well. But I plus one everything everybody else said.
Thank you, Ms. Haywood. Mr. Fishbein.
Since I used the wrong link to get here, I missed much of what Mr. Schultz said. So I may repeat one or two sentiments, but
Joel, can you talk up just a little bit? Just your voice is a little bit low, your volume.
absolutely. How's that?
That's better.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. I want to thank the teachers because they definitely made this an easier process than it may have been. And Ms. Haywood stole my one thought that hadn't been said yet, which is Mr. Sultanic is integral to this process, and we could not do this without his guidance and expertise. And I on a personal level, this is this resolution of this contract is incredibly gratifying because it really felt like there was going to be conflict at the beginning of the process, and we were able to do this with relatively no conflict and getting a really what is a great result for both the teachers and for our taxpayers. So thank you for that. That's all I had to say.
Thank you, Mr. Fishbein. So if there are no other comments, we'll take this by voice vote. And I'm just going to go on the order that I see you on the screen. Mr. Fishbein? You're muted, Joel.
Yeah, I know. I was done. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, I just said we're going to do the voice. We're going to do a voice votes, individual voice votes. So I'm going to, well, but now that I'll give you a break because
Yay.
now you've moved it. Yay. Okay. Mr. Schultz,
Aye.
Ms. Lohman,
Aye.
Mr. Epps,
Aye.
Mr. Cohen,
Aye.
Ms. Haywood,
Aye.
Mr. Burdell Williams,
Aye.
Ms. Mulhern,
Aye.
and I am an aye. The motion carries. Yay for having a contract. Next, we have the approval of the consent agenda, approval of the agenda items. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Jennifer Lohman.
Second, Leah Mulhern.
Before we go to vote, to a voice vote, are there any comments from the board?
Just officially welcome Josh, Mr. Swigert, officially. I know I feel like we may have done this twice. Maybe I'm missing something, but I know we welcomed you, last week, but welcome again. Great to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Burdell Williams. Ms. Haywood?
Yes, I just had a question regarding the first consent agenda item, approval of waiver of fees. Can we get some background on that? I don't know who Everett Sports Marketing is and what they're going to be doing on our athletic fields and why we're waiving the fees. So if somebody
Yes, ma'am. So
thank you.
thank you for your question. This was with respect to the event that was held at Cheltenham High School with our own Eagles quarterback. And it was under his nonprofit. He ran a one-day free camp for all students within our district. And I'm talking about Jalen Hurt, and the football team, coaching staff, and our players were the counselors that helped co-facilitate that one-day camp. We had highlighted it on our webpage, and there were some stories that ran. There was an article in the paper. So because he was not benefiting at all from a financial perspective, I did not want to charge him a building use fee for using the facility. when he was bringing his time, his talents to our district free of charge. So I hope that gives some insight on the request, Mrs. Haywood.
It does. Thank you, Dr. Scriven.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other comments? So we'll take the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? I'm an aye. The motion carries. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
I think we need a motion for that, don't we?
Oh, we do. We need a
Oh.
motion. Oh, can I have a motion to?
So moved.
Second, Charles Burdell Williams.